Hello my dear friends, how are you all? Today we will discuss most 31 MCQ of political science. We will discuss source of the Constitution of India. Source of the Constitution of India. Most 31 MCQ. So let's start without delay. So the first question is fundamental right. This system has been derived from which constitution? Option A Canadian Constitution. Option B US Constitution. Option C South African Constitution. Option D French Constitution. Here the right answer is option B. US Constitution. Our fundamental right has been derived from US Constitution. 2 number question. Procedure established by law. This system has been derived from which constitution? Option A Japanese Constitution. Option B French Constitution. Option C Irish Constitution. Option D US Constitution. Here the right answer is option A. Option A is the correct answer. Japanese Constitution, right? Japanese Constitution. 3 number question. Rule of law. This system has been derived from option A Australian Constitution, option B Irish Constitution, option C British Constitution, option D USSR Constitution. Here the right answer is option C British Constitution. Rule of law has been derived from British Constitution. 4 number question. Procedure for amendments of the Constitution and election of members of Rajya Sabha. This system has been derived from option A Japanese Constitution, option B South African Constitution, option C Weimar Constitution, option D Australian Constitution. Here the right answer is option B. Option B is the correct answer. South African Constitution. 5 number question. Concurrent list has been derived from option A Australian Constitution, option B Japanese Constitution, option C Irish Constitution, option D British Constitution. Here the right answer is option A Australian Constitution. 6 number question. Federal scheme has been derived from which source? Option A British Constitution, option B Government of India Act of 1935, option C Canadian Constitution, option D Australian Constitution. Here the right answer is option B. Option B is the correct answer. Government of India Act of 1935. 7 number question. Impeachment of president has been derived from which constitution? Option A Australian Constitution, option B US Constitution, option C Irish Constitution, option D Japanese Constitution. Here the right answer is option B US Constitution. The impeachment of president has been derived from US Constitution. 8 number question. Removal of judges. This system has been derived from option A US Constitution, option B Australian Constitution, option C British Constitution, option D French Constitution. Here the right answer is option A US Constitution. Removal of judges this system has been derived from US Constitution. 9 number question. Republic and the ideal of liberty, equality and fraternity in the Preamble. This system has been came from which constitution? Option A Australian Constitution, option B French Constitution, option C USSR Constitution, option D British Constitution. Here the right answer is Option, the right answer is option B is the right answer. Okay. French Constitution, Republic and the ideal of liberty, equality and fraternity in the Preamble. This system has been derived from French Constitution. 10 number question. Office of Governor. Option A, Government of India Act of 1935. Option B, Canadian Constitution. Option C, UMR Constitution. Option D, Japanese Constitution. Here the right answer is option A, Government of India Act of 1935. 11 number question. Fundamental duties and ideas of justice. This system has been derived from which constitution? Option A, USSR Constitution. Option B, South African Constitution. Option C, Irish Constitution. Option D, British Constitution. Here the right answer is option A. Option A is the correct answer. USSR Constitution, right? Fundamental duties and ideas of justice. This system has been derived from USSR Constitution. 12 number question. Judiciary system has been came from option A, Japanese Constitution. Option B, South African Constitution. Option C, Government of India Act of 1935. Option D, Irish Constitution. Here the right answer is option C. Option C is the correct answer. Government of India Act of 1935. 13 number question. Suspension of fundamental during emergency. Option A, Weimar Constitution of Germany. Option B, Australian Constitution. Option C, Irish Constitution. Option D, US Constitution. Suspension of fundamental during emergency. This system has been came from Australian Constitution, right? Option A. Sorry. 13 number is option A. Option A is the right answer. Weimar Constitution of Germany. Suspension of fundamental during emergency. This system has been came from Weimar Constitution of Germany. Joint sitting of Parliament. This system has been came from Australian Constitution, right? Australian Constitution. Joint sitting of Parliament has been come from Australian Constitution. 15 number question. Directive Principle of State Policy DPSP has been came from option A, Canadian Constitution. Option B, Irish Constitution. Option C, Australian Constitution. Option D, French Constitution. The right answer is option B. Option B is the correct answer. Irish Constitution. 16 number question. Freedom of trade. Freedom of trade. This system has been came from which constitution? Australian Constitution, right? Freedom of trade system of India has been came from Australian Constitution. 17 number question. Method of election of president. The method of election of president, this system has been came from which constitution? The correct answer is option C, Irish Constitution. In our India, the method of president election has been came from Irish Constitution. 18 number question. Commerce and intercourse has been came from which constitution? Option B. Option B is the right answer. Australian Constitution, right? 19 number question. Nomination of members to Rajya Sabha. This system has been came from which constitution? Option A, British Constitution. Option B, US Constitution. Option C, Canadian Constitution. Option D, Irish Constitution. Here the right answer is Option D. Option D is the correct answer. Irish Constitution. Nomination of members to Rajya Sabha of the India has been came from Irish Constitution. 20 number question. Federation with a strong center has been came from which constitution? Option A. Canadian Constitution. Option B. Irish Constitution. Option C. Australian Constitution. Option D. US Constitution. Here the right answer is option A. Canadian Constitution. Federation with a strong center. This system has been came from Canadian Constitution. 21 number question. Public Service Commission has been came from which constitution? Option A. British Constitution. Option B. US Constitution. Option C. Canadian Constitution. Option D. Government of India Act of 1935. Here the right answer is option D. Government of India Act of 1935. Public Service Commission. This system has been came from Government of India Act of 1935. 22 number question. Legislative procedure has been came from which constitution? Legislative procedure system has been came from British Constitution. The answer is option C. British Constitution. 23 number question. Emergency provision and administrative details. This system has been came from option A. Government of India Act of 1935. B. British Constitution. Option C. US Constitution. Option D. Canadian Constitution. The correct answer is option A. Government of India Act of 1935. Vesting residuary power with the center. Option A. Irish Constitution. Option B. Australian Constitution. Option C. Canadian Constitution. Option D. French Constitution. This system has been came from which constitution? The correct answer is option C. Canadian Constitution. Vesting residuary power with the center has been came from Canadian Constitution. 25 number question. Removal of judges. This system has been came from which constitution? In our India, removal system of judges has been came from US Constitution, right? US Constitution. 26 number question. Single citizenship has been came from which constitution? Option A. British Constitution. Option B. US Constitution. Option C. Canadian Constitution. Option D. Irish Constitution. Here the right answer is option A. Option A is the correct answer. British Constitution. Single citizenship. This system has been came from British Constitution, right? And 27 number question. Judicial review. Judicial review. This system has been came from US Constitution, right? Judicial review. This system has been came from US Constitution. 28 number question. Appointment of governor and states by the center. Option A. Australian Constitution. Option B. USSR Constitution. Option C. French Constitution. Option D. Canadian Constitution. The right answer is option D. Option D is the correct answer. Canadian Constitution, right? Appointment of governor of states by the center. This system has been came from Canadian Constitution. 29 number question. Independent judiciary. Option A. US Constitution. Option B. Canadian Constitution. Option C. Japanese Constitution. Option D. South African Constitution. Here the right answer is option A. US Constitution, right? 30 number question. Advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court has been came from option A Irish Constitution, option B Australian Constitution, option C Canadian Constitution, option D South African Constitution. Here the right answer is option C Canadian Constitution, right? Our advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court, this system has been came from Canadian Constitution. 31 number question, and this is the last question of sources of the Indian Constitution, right? So the last question is office of the Vice President. This system has been came from which constitution? In our India, the office of the Vice President system has been came from option A Irish Constitution, option B Australian Constitution, option C US Constitution, option D British Constitution. Here the right answer is option C US Constitution. Office of the Vice President, this system has been came from US Constitution. So my dear friends, this was most very important MCQ of different sources of the Indian Constitution.